Hello, hello, hello. I wanted to come on and do this quick video in regards to the rounds that Wendy Williams is making. So yesterday I saw an interview with The Breakfast Club with Charlamagne the God, DJ Envy, and Jess Hilarious. There was another young lady there who I don't remember her name, but on the line, Wendy had called in along with her niece and was talking about her conservatorship and how strict it was. Wendy sounded like herself. She sounded lucid, and she did stutter a lot, and kept repeating, you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm saying, you see what I'm saying. And she kept going on and on about, how her conservatorship kind of just has her in a prison for the most part. It sounds like she is located in a assisted living facility with older people. She says that she has a room. She stays in her room for the most part. Most of the people there, who she claims are wonderful people. Of course, we're not, saying anything negative about our aging community. However, she says pretty much she stays in her room. She takes her meals in her room. She speaks to people, but she is on lockdown. And so when pressed on how did we get here, Wendy, we never really got an answer for that. And she alluded to that there are some legal things that are going on where she can't really speak about it. But she said she was able to go to her son's graduation, which we did see videos of that. And, she was there cheering for him and all. But she lives in fear that if she really speak out, even with what she's doing now on this campaign, that they may take her phone from her and they may just snatch her up and take her somewhere else. She doesn't have access to her family for the most part. She has some type of weird phone where, she can call out, but she can't get any calls in. It's really, really crazy. And in this period that we're in, where we have all this mess going on, Wendy was the queen of mess. We know that. And she loved to spill the tea. We all love that as well. And considering the issues that are going on with Diddy, everyone wants to know what her opinion is about that. Now, back in the day when she worked for the radio station, she was actually fired from her job because she alleged that Diddy was gay. And now it's like we're hearing things. That's a whole nother thing. But when asked about what she thought about Diddy's situation right now, she just very tersely said, Diddy is done. But it would certainly be interesting to hear her elaborate more and say things that we all know that she would love to say and defend herself for, being fired and all of the things that she said in the past that are now seemingly were true. But yes, it's a very sad situation for Wendy that she's in. Her niece is kind of helping her out. Her niece is also in the media field as well. And so her niece was actually there to try to fill in the blanks or the things that Wendy could not, actually talk about. And so she did what she could. But still, what the takeaways is, this is a very strict conservatorship, and she wants to get out of it. She wants to be around her family. She does not have dementia. And I think this was kind of insensitive. On The Breakfast Club, Charlamagne, I'm not sure if it was Charlamagne or if it was DJ Envy, but one of them asked what type of medications was she taking. You don't ask people that. That's very personal, Who does that? So I thought that was a bit trash. But for the most part, I think that Wendy, I don't know if she could do TV again. I mean, she sound good. I think she probably, right now, I don't know. I think right now, the best avenue for her, because she mentioned, she was also, after the Breakfast Club, I noticed that she had called into Don Lemon as well. So it appears that she's making rounds, you know, to state her case. And she said that she does want to work again, but she wants to pick and choose really the type of work that she does. And she also wants to live in Miami. That's where she wants to retire. She just wants to live there for the rest of her life. When asked about, you know, if she had any money, she has money, but as of the time that she was speaking on the Breakfast Club, she stated that she had $15. Now, of course, we're assuming that this is money that the conservator had given her that perhaps had dwindled down, but she said at that moment she only had $15, but you know that she does have money. So Wendy Williams, they on the Breakfast Club, they started a little campaign, I believe. I don't know if it's taking legs or not, or if it was just, you know, said just to be said, but it was like hashtag free Wendy Williams. And so we'll see where we're going with that, or, you know, another sad thing that was stated is that Wendy Williams' father turns 94 soon. I don't know if it's next month, I think but it's soon, it's coming up soon. And she doesn't even know if she'll be able to see him, if they'll allow her to go to his birthday, or, you know, to visit him on his birthday. Now, we know that her mom passed away, and when she did the interview with Don Lemon was speaking of how he and Wendy came to be friends. And during COVID, her mom passed. That's when her mom passed. And she, you know, called up Don Lemon out of the blue, and, you know, they, you know, kind of talked on the phone, and she explained to him how she was, you know, feeling lonely. She was isolated. She was separated from her husband. And so Don Lemon's heart went out to her, and it was like, you know, well, you know, won't you come through and hang out, you know, and, you know, we see what we can do about that loneliness, right? So she came and visited him and his fiance at that time. He had not yet married his husband, and they had a great time. She was cool. He got to know her more, you know, closely, and to, you know, understand the type of person that she was, and, you know, he really liked her. Prior to that, when Wendy first got ill, he sat in on the Hot Topics for her. And he was with a whole nother media company who, they weren't too happy about it, but because of the relationship between he and Wendy, he wanted to help her out. So they allowed him to do it a couple of times, to host the Hot Topics. But yeah, they began to become friends and hang out here and there, go out to clubs and bars and stuff. And so yeah, that's how their relationship blossomed. But she was on Wendy was on Don's show, his video show, you know, talking about the same thing that she was on the Breakfast Club, about how it's just so strict, and, you know, she wants to be around her family. She's, you know, kind of afraid. She's in a prison. She feels isolated. And it begs the question, when these people get in these conservatorships, if there are capable family who can take care of them and who love them, why that should be the first avenue really that they take, as opposed to placing someone with a stranger, with someone who don't know them. Now, that's not to say that a stranger could not genuinely care for, you know, a stranger or someone that they don't know. But if you're raised like I was raised, there's nothing like family, you know, being around them. There's a whole different vibe. There's a whole different spirit. They know you, you know, the ins and outs. That's your blood. Conversely, family can also be bad. But that would be my first choice, is to, you know, if I was to fall into that situation, that someone from my family would take care of me as opposed to a stranger. So she's really trying to make her case, and I believe that her next round of interview will be with Jason Lee. Not totally sure, but Don Lemon kind of mentioned that that was where she was going next. So she's definitely trying to get her story out there. We're going to see what happens as a result of this. I hope, and the feeling was that there could be some negative repercussions from her talking, like them taking her phone from her. It's like a punishment type situation, but she definitely was able to recall things. So dementia doesn't look like that's there. She was lucid. Like I said, she was stuttering a bit and kept repeating some of the same words. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And was, really trying to get her niece to kind of speak for her what she could say, because there's a legal thing. But Don Lemon also mentioned about, which Wendy didn't talk about on the Breakfast Club, was how she served her husband when they separated. So she said that Kevin likes to shop, right? This is Big Kevin, her husband, likes to shop. And he likes, expensive things. You got money, you're gonna buy expensive things. And so what she did was she sent the papers, she served him basically in a Balenciaga box. So he thought it was a delivery, so he walks to go get the delivery, and voila, it was the divorce papers that she served him with. So that was interesting. She wouldn't really talk about it on the Breakfast Club, but she did talk about it on Don Lemon. And she's being very strategic with this, because he also stated that, when she reached out, or when her niece reached out to talk, that she wanted to first, talk with Charlemagne, which I guess makes sense, because, she and Charlemagne have history. They actually started together. He is like the reason that he is, part of the reason, they started together, but it was Wendy's show. So you know where I'm going with that. Everybody's talent speaks for itself. But, they started on a radio show and both kind of blew up in their own ways. And so I can see why she would want to go on the Breakfast Club first and then the other places. So she went to the Breakfast Club, then Don Lemon, and like I said, I believe that Jason Lee is next. But Wendy's out here. She's talking. We miss her. It's definitely lonely on the daytime talk without her, and that's not shitting on any of the other people that's out there, talking in the daytime. But yeah, so this is going to be interesting. We're going to stay tuned, and we're going to see, and we'll report back on how this is progressing. But for now, I'm going to say goodbye, and please don't forget to be awesome.